I hope that in the future technology will make things easier for people.
I want there to be flying cars.
I think it would be really cool if I could design 3D houses.
Maybe the technology can help them find a cure for cancer.
To be more involved with the community.
My hopes and dreams are to be able to help people.
Get into a good college.
To be a professional hockey player.
To be a rapper. To play the piano and the trumpet.
I want to be a professional gamer.
A doctor for kids with developmental problems.
Go to Howard University and eventually become a pediatrician.
I want definitely a stable job.
I'm concerned about people losing their jobs and having to get retrained for different jobs.
I think I would want to be an architect so that I could leave something behind in the world and make sure I made some kind of impact.
I know a lot of people hope to be very successful when they grow up and have lots of accomplishments, but for me, I just really want to be happy in whatever profession I end up with.
This past year, lots of folks have been thinking deeply about our graduates and the experiences we provide our students, pre-K through 12. We've begun to think a lot about what the world's going to be like when our incoming kindergartners, next year's kindergartners, graduate from high school in the year 2032. We can't even imagine what that world will be like. But we do know they will face many challenges that we're trying to confront right now in our schools and in society. We know that careers and opportunities will increase. The levels of entrepreneurship and technology and innovation and adaptability will be very important to consider. We know that there'll be ongoing environmental and security challenges that our children will have to confront. Certainly the issues of race, and poverty, equity, and the importance of social capital will be something we have to think about. Medical advancements, artificial intelligence, and thinking about how we can encourage more ingenuity and creativity will absolutely be prized. And the need for civic engagement, diplomacy, the acquisition of new languages and skills, ways to confront racism and poverty, violence and injustice will be very important. So we pulled together a group of folks to think about these big issues, to help us develop a framework, a portrait of a Needham graduate, to help us provide for our kids as they move into the future. The folks who've come together to frame a portrait of a Needham graduate represent the entire community. Over 50 folks, teachers, administrators, business leaders, civic leaders, higher education folks, and students came together over 4 full-day meetings over the last 10 months to begin the conversation and help identify what some of the key competencies might be that will be important as we think about our kids and their future.
Portrait of a Needham graduate has been a process where people who really care about the future of the Needham community, yes, but even our impact on the world beyond our community, decided to get together and communally determine what is it that we care about and how should the school try to carry that forward. And not just what we care about, but what we think we can measure our ability to deliver for everyone, from top to bottom.
We've had an opportunity over, I think, about 3 or 4 sessions to work together with community leaders, students, administrators, staff, teachers, to really think out of the box about what it does it mean to be a graduate of Needham High School.
It's been also very much a learning experience to be able to hear different points of view from different walks of life throughout our community and our school system, to be able to really form a joint point of view on how we go about modernizing our learning system for students all the way from pre-K to high school age.
The world is changing, what our graduates need to be able to do is changing, but our school system really hasn't changed for many, many years. And so we need to take a look at across the board what should be changed in order to prepare our kids for the future.
The Needham schools have been very good at iterating from year to year to improve the curriculum and improve the education we're giving everyone. But the Portrait of a Graduate project is an effort to step back and look at the big picture and see how the workplace is changing, life in general in our country and in our region is changing, and rethink maybe the skills and competencies that we're teaching kids to make sure they're relevant for the future.
They're together at each table identifying the things that make them feel passionate. And it could be because they remember their days as a student, or because they have a child with a learning disability today in the Needham schools, or maybe they have a young child and they're looking forward to the challenges and opportunities that child might address. And they want to bring their voice to that conversation.
It gives us an opportunity to look at this work through a number of perspectives. We're not talking about one portrait. We're not talking about one way of looking at what it means to be a successful person that graduates from Needham High. And by bringing all of these people together, it allows us to look at it through different lenses.
There's students and teachers and parents, all kinds of experts, people from the school committee and other areas. So the idea was to make sure that as we rethought about the future, thinking what the challenges would be and then what the answers, what we want to change, how we want to change the schools, make sure we're getting all kinds of points of view in.
So dozens of people, dozens of voices, and then harmonizing on what do we think as a group we want to recommend the school try to accomplish.
The students that we graduate are going to ultimately be the leaders of the world, and they're going to be making decisions for all of us, so it matters for society. And I really want to support our public school system, which is really, really vital. It's the backbone of society.
The kids today need to be prepared for what the future is, and the hard thing is we don't know what that's going to be, and we're trying to prepare students for jobs that don't exist and will change by the time they even graduate college. So we need to look at the tools and the skills they need in order to be successful, regardless of what happens in the future.
Every day I hear something exciting, something new. If I can eventually become an educator that teaches about my values and not necessarily core skills like English and math, then I think that's really powerful and important.
I wanted to develop something where students could learn and have that opportunity to explore different paths and really see that there's a lot of unlimited possibilities for whatever they want to do.
I think the work of the Portrait of a Needham Graduate is important because the environment that you were in at a younger age kind of shapes who you're going to become when you get older.
I want the students who are coming up behind me, so the elementary kids and the middle schoolers and the high schoolers who are already there, to have a school system and kind of be in a district that is kind of shaping their future.
As a result of this group's work, and after receiving a lot of feedback from folks, we've identified 5 competencies because we want all Needham Public Schools students to be
creative and problem solvers, raise questions driven by curiosity, analyze relevant information, express creativity, design and innovate solutions.
Communicators and collaborators listen effectively, articulate ideas using a variety of communication strategies and skills, interact with others respectively and productively, contribute to teamwork.
Socially and culturally responsive contributors understand and respect diversity, act with empathy and courage to ensure equity, access, and anti-racist culture, address local and global issues through civic and community engagement.
Responsible and resilient individuals take responsibility for actions, make healthy choices to achieve physical and emotional well-being, self-advocate, persist to overcome personal challenges, adapt to change.
Empower learners to discover and integrate content from multiple disciplines. Engage in self-directed learning. Use technology to support learning and navigate a digital world.
So what are next steps? Well, we need to identify strategic priorities based on these competencies, and we will work together in the months and years ahead to make sure that we get it right. Certainly, we owe it to our students to do just that. I'm reminded, long ago, John Dewey said, "If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow." And more recently, a colleague said to me, "We should not be preparing students for our past, but for their future." I'm really excited about the possibilities of our work. Thank you.